Welcome to the Risen Premade Dominate Week 6. I will be your play-by-play caster for this stream, Sun Praising, and alongside me is Zane BD. And we bring you the match today between TTVtheonlytacocat and the winning formula. Welcome. Zane, you got anything on the teams coming up, or?
Well, so far it looks like winning Taco Cat has a bit of a worse what's it called? Damn. Just record. That's the word I'm looking for.
So,
Man,
yeah.
My brain was not working for a second.
No, that's okay.
Record,
yeah, no, winning formula is 3-2. So after the first 5 weeks, while the only Taco Cat is 4-1. So yes, in terms of standings, the only Taco Cat do look like the better team initially. However, as we get through these first round of bans, Cassiopeia, Viego, Camille, and Xinjiao are all off the table. In terms of the bans, I'd say that Camille ban is likely well, I would say a target ban, even though Camille just alone is fairly decent. But a Wild Terry, at least on his op.gg, has played pretty much only Camille so far this season. So I've seen that one going out, and we've got a Nun ban. We'll have to wait to see what the players type into. That is a Leona ban.
Leona ban, okay.
Yeah, that is confirmed. Even though they didn't lock it in time, it's a Leona ban. So that's going 5th overall. And and there goes Rek'Sai. That's all right, and that's
yeah, I'm liking these bans coming out from TWF with the Shinzao and the Rek'Sai kind of targeting these junglers, making sure they're not getting that early lead from these really hyperscaling junglers, along with Taco and the Viego taking that offline. The jungle is really important, and they're gonna pick Lee Sin for their first pick, and Trundle.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the importance of jungler of the jungle strength so far this patch, what we've seen, I think Lee Sin is a good first pick because there just aren't. There are Lee Sin's like that level of jungler that is not quite on the same amount of strength that you'd see from the likes of Xinjiao, but still really strong and not to be underestimated. And Trundle is a fairly good utility jungler. I know his the slow on his pillar got nerfed just this last patch, but it's still a very strong ganking tool. And as we were saying, that Tristana gets locked in the sign of the winning formula, and Rise comes back for Taco Cat.
I love this Rise pick. I'm a personal fan of control mages in the mid lane. Rise, Victor, give me a Malzahar, give me control mages in the mid lane, have them do just a ridiculous amount of work late game. I love it. And if that Rise can get ahead early, it's going to be absolutely dominating in the late game.
Side lane Rise is a menace to behold the later you go on, and that is a Nautilus pick coming through. I don't know how I feel about the Nautilus pick here, because I mean, I know that I guess there's a Leona ban, and if you're trying to look for some hard engage, Nautilus is decent, but I mean, Trundle has his pillar, Tristana has the rocket jump. I just don't know how good of a pick it is here, and we get a Braum as an answer to that Nautilus, so.
And I feel like I like the Braum a lot better, because the job of both of them is to be frontline and be engage, and Nautilus engages better, but Braum is just such a beefy frontline that's able to stop a lot of things coming through. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, and so through our first round of picks on the side of Taco Cat, they do have Lee Sin, Rise, Nautilus, and Trundle, Tristana, and Braum have all been picked, but as we get into the second round of bans, Ezreal and Victor's being hovered, and now he is banned, will come through. So inside of the winning formula, this looks like we're a lot of bot lane focus, while if we see from Taco Cat and Yone, so it looks like the winning formula looking like they might want to play to to their bottom lane so far, as they already have it locked in, and Braum Tristana, in my personal opinion, I think is a fairly strong lane, especially with Nautilus already being shown. So
Absolutely. As soon as you hit level 2 or even level 3 in that lane, a single tick of Braum's passive on anyone lets Tristana just jump in there, put her bomb on, stun him, bomb goes off, you can jump right back out. It's disgusting engage, and it's really threatening in that lane. If they don't pick a safe ADC here, it's going to be a bit rough for them in lane.
we have an update from the players. The Kinnan pick isn't actually a Kinnan pick. It was supposed to be Orianna, but the way Pro Draft works is that if you don't lock it in exactly on the 0, it gives you a random champion. And I know in the client you usually get a grace period of about 3 seconds to lock in a champion. But that is not a Kinnan pick. And so, but as we're going through that, Aatrox gets selected.
Aatrox.
I haven't seen Aatrox played in a long time, so in a competitive environment. So I don't know. If you have any insights onto how this Aatrox pick might go?
I'm in the same boat as you. I haven't seen Aatrox in a very long time, and to be able to blind pick that into something, especially because Trundle is most likely going to be jungle, so they blind pick the top lane and they blind pick the mid lane. So Corki mid, I like it. It has good engage, it has good disengage with the package, but Aatrox is such an interesting pick because it's so easy for the winning formula to just shut that into the ground with something like a late game Kale would absolutely destroy.
Yeah. And wait, okay, so we see
Kennen. Okay, so they're swapping the Kennen. So the
draft is still the same, but apparently Kennen was supposed to be picked before Orianna. That's well, I mean, at the very least, the draft looks the same, I suppose. So those are all the champions that we'll get. But yeah, it's a bit strange. I'm assuming that I would hope it's a mistake and not something to do with a lack of competitive integrity. But most likely it was just because of how pro draft works.
Yeah, a lot of time being in those draft situations, I realize how stressful it is.
Yeah, you get down
together as a team.
Yeah, I've drafted on pro draft before. You get down to the last. You see the clock ticking down. You're just like, we need Orianna, and you're like trying to type in ORI as fast as possible, and all of a sudden Kinnan's locked in. You're like, shoot.
Okay, so now that we see the full teams here, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about both of these teams?
I in terms of draft, I think the winning formula went about their draft just a lot better in general, because I mean, Lee Sin first pick, that's fine. Blind pick Lee Sin right now is understandable, but then I in terms of like ADC matchups, I don't think it's as important as the support in terms of the bot lane matchup. So they get a bot lane counter pick, like Braum into Nautilus. Actually, wait, now I'm seeing this. Lee Sin, Ryze, Nautilus, Aatrox, Corki.
Yes, so it's going to be a Corki, most likely Corki
Most
bot.
likely That's what Corki bot lane. Now that wait, hold on. My brain didn't even like process that. Shoot. I don't know how that's going to play. It's very, very unorthodox from the top.
Corki hasn't been played in the bot lane since season 6.
Yeah, since before I even started playing this game. So it's like I've only never known him as a mid laner. So this is I'm trying to imagine how it would play, because I know Corki really wants levels, like to scale up faster. He's very reliant on gaining levels, but I guess so is Tristana to an extent.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. It's like I was saying with the picking a safe ADC. You have your W on Corki to, if Braum passive gets on you, you just get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And you can do that with the Nautilus. If Braum passive gets on Nautilus, he has his shield. He's able to kind of sustain through a lot of that. Yeah. So I'm thinking their bot lane is going to be playing a much safer pick here.
Yeah, so looking like they're probably going to be playing through mid jungle on the side of TTVtheonlytacocat, because Lee Sin Ryze is a definitely very strong mid jungle duo there, and if you get Ryze going, he will absolutely start to take over a game on his own.
Oh yes.
That being said, I think in terms, if it does go late enough to where team fighting pretty much becomes a necessity, I would have to say I would favor the side of actually winning formula, because see, the Orianna pick here is actually now that I think about it, it's pretty interesting, because on the side of winning formula, I mean, I guess Kinnan could be the primary engage, throw the ball onto Kinnan and then shockwave that way, but it's interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out on that side. But strictly speaking, in terms of how strong you think these champions scale, I would say the winning formula has an advantage there overall.
Yes, definitely. It really comes down to the early game of Taco and how far ahead they can get this rise. They have a lot of engage with the Lee Sin and the Nautilus, the Aatrox, the Corki, and even a Rise ult behind. Like, they have a lot of engage, and if they're able to get on the back line, get on the Tristana, and get on the Orianna, they're able to really do work here, but they have to get past that Braum, get past that Trundle, which is going to be their difficult part.
It's going to be very difficult. Notoriously, Trundle, obviously the pillar, and Braum throwing up his shield that blocks all projectiles. That being said, TacoCat's team composition isn't exactly all that incredibly projectile based outside of Corki. So if there's one advantage they have coming into this draft, that they have that going against the Braum pick. So it would definitely help. The short range, hard engaged, Realm Warp from Rise going in. They definitely have ways to get around it for sure.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're about to be getting ready to go into the spectator delay, and we'll be back with you guys for the game.
Yeah. All right, we have loaded in for game 1 of the Resin's Premade Dominate series between the Only Taco Cat and the Winning Formula. We are back, and your eyes do not deceive you. That is, in fact, a quirky ADC. Something that has not been seen since the ancient times. But here we are.
Yeah,
on that?
Bringing it back to the OG bot lane, I really do love it. They're looking to maybe death push this. Oh no, they're going for the invade.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of this because with Braum, his level 1 on invades is just absolutely ridiculous. Though the teams do seem to know that that both sides have been coming through. Perhaps we get some sort of fight.
We're gonna have a party in the mid lane.
Yeah, they'll probably just go back to normal, most likely. So, as we aren't likely to get any sort of crazy fights coming through, this bot lane quirky definitely sticks out as something, as a point of interest, just because of how unusual it is in the current state of League of Legends.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this works out for them. Both junglers started opposite sides of the map on their red buffs, and both of them had wards on each other. So they both know where they are, and they both know that they're not going to be meeting at Scuttle Crab to fight. So I think each of them are going to kind of clear their jungles, take their respective Scuttle Crabs, and maybe go for ganks on the opposite sides of the map. They got to watch the timers there for the bot lane and the top lane.
Yeah, and especially with the game strength of Trundle starting on his red buff, looking to head to the bot side. This Braum Tristana duo is very strong, as he'll land his Q there, but I think the Tim will just hook himself out of there. Yeah, so I think if the winning formula, I think their winning formula this game is find a dive onto this quirky Nautilus. They pick that up. I think that lane is practically unplayable at that point. But let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, this bot lane, I feel like it's going to be a lot of action from the side of the winning formula. They're going to want to try to engage because they know they have a better early stats. And that's the same exact thing for Taco's mid lane. Taco's mid lane is going to be wanting to engage, and that Ryze is going to be wanting to be poking out that Orianna because he knows he can.
Yeah, and with the strength that is Ryze Lee Sin as a mid jungle duo, which we might just see coming out here. Quality player goes low. The flash comes in from Margarine. That is the first blood onto Zohair, and yeah, Margarine will just barely make it out. Both flashes used on the side of the Only Taco Cat, but they still pick up the first blood.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate. Quality player just sidestepped so barely that both the Q from Zohair and Margarine missed, and they had to both use flash to be able to secure that kill. So both flashes out for the jungle and for the mid lane. And Flash and TP coming out for the mid lane.
We've got another gate coming through up to the top side. Zohair going in again. And no, wait, we got to fight bot lane, but we do have the Unbreakable coming up. Tim will not get stunned up. And actually, that's a fairly good trade for the side of Taco Cat's bot lane.
A lot of action so far. Lee Sin was up on top side.
We're going all over the place. The Unbreakable should be down. Perky, the parrot's going low. So is 4,000 IQ. They have to burn heal and a flash from 4,000 IQ, and that is not how we expected this bot lane matchup to go down. But here we are. That is a summoner spell advantage to the bot side. However, the first gank will come in from the winning formula. Lee Sin is looking up to the top side to gank the Aatrox, though I don't believe he'll be able to get much out of that. But,
yeah. So this bot lane apparently. The engage coming in from Nautilus is just way too much, way too overwhelming for this Tristana and this Braum to be able to hold off early. But they still get all that wave, they still get massive amounts of gold from this huge wave underneath tower, and it doesn't seem like anything really comes of it. Nautilus can be walking up into the jungle.
Maybe expect perhaps a little bit more focus towards that bottom side of the map. However, we're looking like a gank's coming in. Margarine is going to get flashed on, going low. He has no flash, used it earlier. However, Lee Sinners is taken down just in time, keeping Margarine alive. Teleport coming through. Quality player, however, is going low. Another teleport coming through, and that is quality player going down. That is a 2-for-0 on the side of the Only Talker Cat, as I'm fairly certain every teleport available was used there to join the 5-man mid lane, and that is yes, heavily advantaged towards the Talker Cat now, as they should be able to pick up this dragon as a result as well.
Yeah, they just Lee Sinners went in on that mid lane, and he didn't have the vision in the bush to see Zohair sitting in there waiting for this gank, able to counter gank it, TP able to come in from Wild Terry and just clean up all of those kills. Absolutely fantastic play by them.
And good awareness gives them about a 2,000 gold advantage 6 minutes into this match. The mid jungle, the aforementioned mid jungle duo is going off here. However, Wild Terry has reached level 6 before Captain Goofy has, though I would imagine he was hitting level 6 on that wave, though they should give Wild Terry enough time to just avoid this gank in a meaningful way. However, Lee Sinners is still going in on this. Have to force the out of Terry, but nothing much. I mean, the Captain Goofy on the Kinnons, he's going to have to pick up that wave. There's no way that I believe they could effectively gank there, but at the very least, it does ease the pressure off that Kinnon and reduces the chance of a dive. However, it looks like we have maybe a death bush going on in the mini map, because it's a bit hard. The director camera is showing, so Hair's steal away this red buff. He will take it. However, Kinnon did hit that level 6 with a kick away from Zohair. Good awareness. Won't get any sort of value out of that ultimate from Kinnon, and they'll just walk away with a red buff gained.
Yeah, now that the Lee Sin is 3-0, Zohair has this massive lead. He's able to just say, hey, top, mid, come with me. We're going to go into the jungle. We're going to take all their money. And that's exactly what they did. Even with ult coming out from Orianna, Shockwave doesn't mean anything when you're that far ahead early.
Yeah, hold on, brain work. The only Talker Cat has done an incredible job of finding that early that we said that they would through that mid jungle, and they've pushed that advantage in the way that you would hope a Ryze Lee Sin combination would do. And as we look at our timers, just to take stock of what might be coming up, as Rift Herald just came up, there is a teleport advantage on the side of the Only Talker Cat as well. So if there is any sort of Herald fight, or maybe in the next 2.5 minutes fight at the jungle, quality players will probably have his teleport back up in time for that, but there is a summoner spell advantage, a global advantage on the side of the Only Talker Cat for any incident fights.
Yeah, and that comes from that fight in the mid lane where the Margarine was already there, and Quality had to use his TP earlier with the first blood. He got caught out, he got ganked, couldn't get away from the Lee Sin Ryze combo, and had to TP back to lane. So that TP advantage is coming through for Margarine. Maybe be useful, but I think it's just going to be coming up for Quality player, and they'll have it for everything. Bundle is down here looking to see something in the bot lane, but nothing really comes of it. Gonna walk away and clear out some vision.
Yeah, I do believe the Scuttle Crab is coming up, so they're clearly setting up for the Dragon, which is coming in about 1.5 minutes now. The Vision War for that fight. I think if they are able to take this Dragon, it'll definitely. It's one thing that they can do to slow down this game with how far ahead the mid jungle duo of the Only Talker Cat is, because with how strong Lee Sin and Ryze are currently, they start stacking up those dragons. They get just that much closer to a soul. I mean, we're looking at about a 23-minute soul here if they take all 4 as soon as they spawn. So.
Lee Sin already has his Gore Drinker finished. I Can't remember how long he's had that finish for, but that is absolutely ridiculous. Having a Mythic done this early is going to be so powerful. His ganks are going to hurt.
Yeah, it's just added strength to those ganks. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to press their advantage in this mid lane, as Zohair is hovering around. He's not signed. Captain Goofy will drop his ultimate, but he gets low. Stun comes out. Wild Terry flashes away, and that's the kill from Lee Sinners onto a Wild Terry, picking up that kill in the top lane, and he won't have teleport to come back to collect that wave. So that is about one whole wave, just slightly more, that he's going to miss in golden experience. However, that'll give Zohair time to perhaps maybe attempt an invade. I don't believe there are any camps up on that.
So Lee Sinner saw Lee Sin on the bot side of the map. They saw they're going for Dragon, so he's just going to concede that and take the Rift. He'd rather have the turret play gold early, which is so much better early game than a single Ocean Drake, in my opinion. He's happy to concede that, happy to just take this Rift and try to put pressure somewhere else on the map and try to crawl back from this gold deficit that they have.
Yeah, definitely, especially with how much plate gold gives. You can easily get 2 or 3 plates off of just one Rift Herald use to start to bring back the gold difference a bit. However, if there is one bright side for the results of the Only Talkcat, it's that they did pick up the second dragon, and they are getting ever closer to being able to threaten a Dragon Soul fairly quickly, and as we've clearly seen demonstrated with through a few of these fights, is that Zohair and Margarine right now they're practically unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the CD on Cloud Drake, which is what it is, it's Cloud Drake coming through. Oh, is there going to be a fight here, or is he? Yeah, there's a fight.
Look for a gank. Wild Terry is going to be stunned up here. The pillar comes down. Float up. He just might make it out. It's getting low. He's down. Captain Terry. A Wild Terry is down. And that'll be another going up to that top side, and the Herald going down. It's a good result, but I feel like they probably could have waited on deploying this Herald just to ensure that they could take this tower in all 5 plates. But either way, that's still going to be a lot of gold going down, going into that top side of the map, regardless, and they'll get the tower in.
And just like that, the gold lead drops from 2k to 1k.
Just like that, yeah.
The Dragon advantage is still something that's very scary for the side of the winning formula. They're going to have to try to find a way to stop that from happening. Them just getting 4 easy Cloud Soul is going to be so scary, especially with this Rise. Having the move speed and on top of that, the cooldown on that ult is going to be insane. But the winning formula just kind of concede this tower, which is very interesting. They still have Lee Sinners on the top side. Captain Goofy had the back, and their bot lane just got poked out. So Taco really just, hey, you take this side of the map, we take this side of the map. We're happy to trade. And that's where a lot of this game has been. Trade Dragon for Rift, trade tower for tower. They're going 1 for 1 on a lot of things, except for this mid lane, where this Lee Sin is just absolutely dominating.
I would say I like this trade because Corki, as we know, scales up so much, and with both that Lee Sin and Rise hovering around the bot side of the map, Perky and 4000 IQ couldn't even walk up to their tower. They were sat under their tier 2 tower that whole entire time, not picking up any sort of resources. And on the contrary, if you look on the top side trade, even though that Herald did take down the tower, the answer in the bottom half did come down, and at the same time, I believe Wild Terry was able to pick up at least some experience there. So I think overall it's a better trade going over to the side of the winning formula just because of that XP loss for their bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Wild Terry is still very much ahead in terms of gold with that CS. Even with Captain Goofy having the extra kill, he has his mythic done, but Aatrox is just able to bully the hell out of this cannon up there.
Especially if he can land the first one part of his Q to land a knockup, you get one lead into all the others. But yeah, we have a bit of a calmer period now. We look at they do have the Cloud Drake coming up in about 30 seconds. The only Tacocat will have a bit of a positional and vision advantage coming into it. But as of right now, we're just probably going to see a bit of a small vision war coming around. One I think currently is favoring the Tacocat.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of the top laners seem to be backing. Wild Terry is going back towards top lane. We'll see if Captain Goofy comes down for this fight or if he goes and tries to crack his tower. And it looks like he's coming down to the fight, which is going to be
moving down because everyone has all the teleports are up except for quality players. The quality player is already in the vicinity, so I think Wild Terry and however, wait, Braum just might look like he's coming out here. 4,000 IQ gets low, but it's not quite enough. Zohair's Q will manage to pick up that kill. Teleport comes down from McKinnon. Got four different fights going all over the place. Wild Terry's in on this backline. Quality player will flash, uses the shockwave. Wild Terry's coming back over. The blast coming up. Ligma, that was Ligma. I'm sorry. Wild Terry going low. Lee Sinners. It's hectic. It is hectic as all get out. The director camera's flying everywhere. K-Technology on the quirky slow. Not quite going down though. And it appears to be a 3-4-3 trade on both sides with just about every last cooldown available being used on both teams. Okay. Almost. The return kill. Perky the parry. Let's. Kills is so low on this Tristana. Surely below 200 health. I mean, he just has enough time to make it out. Oh, jeez, wow. And the teleport from quality play just came through to, well, pretty much ensure that they can pick up this dragon. However, they don't have a jungler still. I mean, Lee Sanders is heading down, and it should give enough time for Tacocat to maybe try to find something find some sort of fight here. Lisa, there we go! Zohair gets the Dragon Steel. However, the shockwave from Orianna is incredible. And that takes down 2. 4,000 IQ getting very low. He goes down, and Lee Sinners, he's surrounded by 4. He goes down. And it's a very good response. Very, very incredible counter punch from the only Tacocat, picking up that team fight win, and the Cloud Drake putting them on Soul Point.
Holy, there's a lot to talk about there.
There's a lot to unpack from that, yeah.
Originally in that first fight, Perky Parrot just was doing so much work. He got his bombs off on the right people. 4,000 IQ was getting his passive off on the right people, able to get Perky Parrot in there and just shredding their lane, or shredding their team. But the problem with that is, after they shredded them, they started the dragon too late. And death timers are not up for that long. This is only 20 minutes into the game so far, not even. So Taco was able to just reset, come back, and take that dragon. A great dragon steal, great smite coming out from the Lee Sin. Zohair, absolutely beautiful.
I just played just about well, the counter attack from the side of Tacocat was played just about as well as they would have drawn it up in their minds. And yeah, that puts them on Soul Point, looking like they could potentially be having a 23-second Cloud Soul. And they have a composition that can really, really use this Cloud Soul effectively.
And they got the second Rift Herald, which is going to be able to do a lot of damage to a tier 2 turret, whether it be bot or mid lane, and they could even put it top lane. to try to take down this last tier 1. But that last Rift Herald is going to be really important. That's a lot of gold. There's a lot of pressure on the map, which is most important for them.
Especially with how the state of the dragon count. You throw that down, you could effectively issue an ultimatum for the winning formula and say, hey, you can either save your tower or stop us from taking soul, and you can at least in one way guarantee some sort of advantage out of that coming in for the next dragon fight. So, however, Captain Goofy will have to ult away, but the stun on Kinnan does come out. He'll be safe. That being said, that is an ultimate coming down, but I just don't know if that's going to be that big of an issue for Captain Goofy, considering that there is 2 minutes until the next dragon comes out. They will deploy the Herald top lane and most likely take down this top lane tier 1.
Yeah, the ultimate cooldown on Captain Goofy isn't that high. It's almost halfway done with the cooldown already. So the cooldown on that ult is definitely worth it just to be able to get away from that Lee Sin. But they set down the Rift Herald top lane. They're able to make it crash into tier 2, which is perfect for them. I don't think they're going to be able to get that tower, but that's a lot of pressure up there. With that tower being so low, you have even 30 seconds with that Aatrox alone in a side lane, and that tower's gone. But yeah, it looks like, nope. I thought 4,000 IQ was going to get caught out there.
Perhaps, but on the other hand, it looks like it's the other mid laner, Margarine, going low. However, maybe he returns the kill. It's a quality player, though he will go down in response. Shut down. Going on to Lee Sinner's Trundle there.
The absolute insane burst potential.
Yeah.
Oh, and they just keep going. They're gonna pressure out this.
Tier 2 going down. Though I don't imagine much more. So yeah.
Yeah, Rise late game is just an absolute pop machine on squishies. If he's able to get on that Orianna, who hasn't been having the best game of her life, you're gonna be able to just two-shot her. EQE.
And that's it, yeah. As we saw just in that last gank, I mean, they did get the shutdown gold, if there's any consolation for them, but yeah, this Rise right now, it currently is strong is an understatement. I need to open up a thesaurus to correctly describe how powerful this Rise is.
A lot of that comes from that early pressure from Zohair, just able to get in there, get that Orianna behind, let his Rise farm up, and get to these late game power spikes where he has Everfrost, he has Archangel's done. He's going to be doing so much damage.
Yeah, and that's important to pick out too, as we do have the Cloud Drake up on Soul Point right now, and it looks like Zohair is going to be starting it as soon as possible. And I don't know. I don't think the winning formula can even counter this. Yeah, there's the Soul. That is Cloud Soul at 23.5 minutes, going to the side of TheOnlyTacocat.
No one was in position there to be able to take that, and even if they did take that fight, it was going to be very hard for them to even come out on top. And then, again, death timers are not the longest in the world, so even if you do come out on top, do you have enough time after a long fight to be able to take that dragon? I don't know. So they're able to just say, hey, alright, we concede soul to you, you take it, we're going to be fighting for the Elder. Elder is what's coming in this game, absolutely.
However, quality player is caught out again trying to take the blue buff, but that's not his jungle anymore. And yeah, that's just essentially a free kill going over once again to TheOnlyTacocat.
Yeah, quality player is just getting absolutely bullied by Zohair and Margarine. They're sticking together, and anytime they see her, it's just death on sight. And they're going to start there.
I don't know if I like this play. They should have a fairly decent parenting speed. However, I think if there's a place that you might lose any sort of tempo that you have, this just may as well be it. I don't know if they really need to risk it. So there may be the turn down here. 4,000 IQ going in. Getting a bit low. However, no one's quite down yet. Zohair will take down 4,000 IQ on that Braum. going down as well, and it's looking like it's going to be an abs. Oh, that is a 5-0 team fight win for the only TTVtheonlytacocat.
Lee Sin and Aatrox's front line, they're able to just take all of this damage coming out and just not care. Hey, 30 seconds later, I'm healed back up to full. I do not care. That is why they took that Baron. That's why they started that. They didn't actually want the Baron. If you're going to give us a free Baron, sure, we'll take a free Baron. But what I really want is to fight you. I want to ace you. I want to be able to put this pressure on the map somewhere. And what I don't like is them giving up this Baron, which would be very easy for them to get, just to get inhib towers, because they're definitely not going to be able to end the game. They might be able to get an inhib, but with Baron, they would have been able to get a lot more. But now they are more than 10k gold up on the side of Taco, and they're just, I don't know. It seems unstoppable at this point. Winning this game is very difficult for the side of TWF.
That might just be an understatement. However, if there is one way back into the game, Elder Drake is just, it's game changing. There's no other way to describe it. If you're able to pick up the Elder Drake, you are going to have at least that short period of time where, maybe with how much gold TacoCat has, perhaps even with them, but usually when you pick up the Elder Drake, you execute, and the burn it's too much to handle. So there is that potentially coming through in just under 3 minutes here. Definitely a major objective, probably most likely the next big fight that we will see coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that TWF was, that's their plan, is to get this Elder. They said, all right, we're going to give you Soul. We don't want the Soul. We don't want to drag this game out any longer without the chance of having an Elder. Because even if they got that Cloud Drake, that's just a whole nother dragon to come before Elder comes up. And they don't need these Cloud Drakes. They don't need Cloud Soul. What they need is Elder.
But Baron being started up again here. I don't know if the winning formula even know that they're on Baron here. They probably do. They don't have vision. They're looking to come in, but I just don't think they'll be able to get there in time with the lack of vision that they have.
It's Lee Sin staying on the backside
That
the last second.
Yeah, that is essentially free Baron going over to the only TacoCat.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And they just used that pressure that they had in the mid lane from taking that inhibitor on the first time, where TWF couldn't walk out of their base. They couldn't step out because, one, they didn't have enough vision around. Like, if you look at the vision on the map right now, the red and blue side for TWF is just lit the hell up by Taco. Taco has wards everywhere, and the ward lines are almost intersecting, but they're not very far into the jungle for TWF. They don't have control over this game, clearly, and it's just slowly hemorrhaging out the last bit of life that they have.
Yeah, and Margarine's level 17 on this rise now. He is 3 levels up on anybody on the side of the winning formula. That is Tristana going down. The package in from Corki. This bot lane Corki, the one that we didn't expect to be so good, is actually setting up this fight. He will go down though. Zohair going a bit low, will flash out, will stay alive, and that is a 4-for-1. Oh, it's a quadra kill onto Margarine's rise, and that's going to be game 1. Going over to the side of the only TacoCat.
When you get Death Cap on a rise, and is this going to be his Penta?
It's a Penta!
Hey!
Yeah.
Penta kill for the rise.
A bit delayed, so we weren't quite sure until I saw it come through, but yeah, that is a Penta kill coming out from Margarine to close out this game 1. And I mean, yeah, the mid-jungle duo of this Rise-Lee Sin combination absolutely took over this game.
And you can definitely just see it in the damage graphs after the game. This Rise with 19k damage in a, 25-minute game? 30-minute game?
30-minute game, yes.
30-minute game, 19k damage. It's insane for a Rise. Because you don't Early game Rise is all right. It can poke out in lane, but it's not popping like late game Rise. And to be able to just boost up these damage stats in late game, especially that last fight, the amount of damage that this Rise was able to put out and get that pentakill. Rise doing absolute work. Zohair being able to really put in the work mid lane, get Margarine that lead, keep quality player down, and take this win. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and so on that note, we will go to a break. Game 2 is up next. We'll see a switch of sides. So for game 2, the winning formula will be on blue side, and the only Taco Cat will be on red side. But we'll look forward to that. But until then, we'll see you then. Welcome back to Risen's Premade Dominate Week 6. We have Game 2 coming up between the Only Tacocat and the Winning Formula. We got a side change coming through here, and that game won. the Only Tacocat, Margarine, absolutely popped off on that rise, so incredible performance.
Margarine popped off.
Absolutely.
Zohair popped off, and they're leaving the Lee Sin open for Taco, unless they're going to first pick it, which is interesting to me.
See very similar bands coming through on both sides coming in the first game. However, they will pick Lee Sin first. You did say, because Zohair's Lee Sin was quite good, and Aurelia being first picked in Sejuani.
Aurelia is such an oppressive laner and such an oppressive late game with that ultimate being able to stun. The Q resets, her passive is absolutely insane right now. Aurelia is just all around a great champion, and being able to put that most likely mid lane is really good. They're able to flex that, so mid or top, depending on what the winning formula does. And Ziggs coming through. That's probably going to be a Ziggs bot lane. Ziggs Nautilus.
So a fairly safe bot lane coming out from the winning formula, but I wouldn't say passive, because Ziggs can absolutely shove out lanes faster than quickly. What's something that's really fast? Whatever. Anyway, we've got a thresh. that was a terrible analogy. And the thresh pick will come through on for the Only Tacocat, and I do rate it, because I mean, look, Lee Sin, Nautilus, you're really good at picking out a singular target to lock down, and Thresh gets his lantern, says, "You're coming with me instead," and yeah, I like this Thresh pick. I do rate it.
Yeah, absolutely, and also for the Lee Sin and Nautilus, you're able to just be able to flay them away. So Lee Sin's coming in with his Q, you have a well-timed flay, and it just kind of stops all engage coming from there, which is really good for the Lee Sin. I do like this Ziggs, though. I like the Ziggs a lot. Being able to have that pressure to push waves, have that pressure on towers, which is absolutely insane. And that's why Ziggs is so good bot lane, because of his pressure on towers. And the tower armor for bot lane is a lot less than the other two lanes. So being able to just have that early pressure on those towers. Shen and Set going to be banned out. They're trying to focus out the top lane. Aphelios banned, and I'm assuming another ADC. Trying to focus out the AD carry of this. Get this Ziggs a nice, easy lane to be able to do his work and farm up, and then take these towers late game.
The Aphelios ban as well, because Aphelios without Thresh as a support, I mean, he can get away with having Braum there to protect him, but he is the definition of the modern immobile AD carry. And we see Corki coming out for the Tacocat, and we saw them play Corki ADC last game, so, and it worked quite all right. It could very easily be Corki bot lane again, especially with that Aurelia already picked.
Yeah, it's the ultimate flex, because if you want to put Corki mid, you put Aurelia top. And if you want Corki bot, Aurelia mid, you still have the top laner up to pick. You can put Aurelia top, Corki bot, and you still have a mid laner up to pick. It's really the ultimate flex on them, on Taco, to be able to just decide with these last picks who they're going to take and who's going to be playing what.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we see Syndra coming through onto the winning formula. So from what we assumed it would be, that Ziggs will be going into the bottom lane, I would imagine, unless if Syndra out of the blue. But either way, Wukong will come through. So they do have that engaged. They could definitely pick out one target that they want to absolutely blow up without them having a chance to respond. But after that, that's going to have to be their game plan at this point. Pick a priority target as Malphite.
Both teams here
as the counter to Wukong.
So laning is not going to be as fun for Malphite as other picks might be, but the late game engage that they have on the side of Taco with Malphite, Aurelia, Sejuani, Corki, Thresh, both teams really, because TWF has Lee Sin, Nautilus, Syndra, Wukong. The engage on both of these teams is absolutely insane. They're going to be wanting to fight a lot. Whoever gets the better engage wins. If Malphite ults their backline, Taco wins. But if Syndra can stun someone and Lee Sin gets on them, then TWF wins. It comes down to engage in these comps. They both have big engage comps, and they both really want to use that to their advantage.
And so we're most likely going to see another extremely brawly game with fights going down left, right, and center with how just the champion selected, the amount of CC, the way they want to utilize it as well. If there's anything advantaging for the side of TacoCat, it's the fact that they have Thresh into how heavy of an engaged composition that the winning formula does have. I mean, if someone does gets picked off, if that target doesn't get deleted immediately, they're just going to be able to pull them away from danger, and that will be the side of winning formulas and their win condition just gone. Meanwhile, winning formula, maybe you could say the Syndra E, the ability name's called the I can't remember right now, but it has that as a knockback, potentially as a form of protection for Ziggs, I guess. I think so far, just looking at the drafts, I like Taco's draft much more.
I definitely see that. I like Taco's draft a lot, but the winning formula has that control mage that I absolutely love. I'll say it time and time again. Control mages late game just do work. And having that Syndra late game into an Aurelia, as long as the Aurelia doesn't get uber fed, your Syndra's going to outscale it. The Aurelia still is going to be able to do a lot of work. It still scales very hard, but the ability for the Syndra to just pop that Corki most likely is insane. Having that I win the game or I click the button, you die.
Outplay button.
Yeah, the outplay button that a lot of these control mages have is really good. And this Syndra, I'm gonna be excited to see that, and I'm hoping that the winning formula really plays through their mid lane, try to get the Syndra ahead, because that's really their win condition here. That and then the Ziggs with his ability to push and siege towers.
Yeah, and something that we didn't quite get to in the earlier conversations, it's that Syndra Lee Sin. Again, Lee Sin with any sort of strong AP mid laner with CC is powerful isn't the right word to describe it. I need something like immaculate. It's immaculate. That's what it is. And going through this mid jungle duo is definite for the winning formula. It's definitely a lot stronger than I would say Aurelia Sejuani, for sure. So we look forward to that matchup between the two of them. Malphite, I think top lane. I mean the armor he gets into Wukong. It's probably just going to be no focus top lane if we're being completely honest. But you never know. Malphite notoriously a fairly weak laner. Maybe they get the winning formula pushes that advantage a bit on the top side, but if I were them, I would definitely focus more so through mid lane than top side.
Yeah, unless this Captain Goofy is able to really just solo kill Wild Terry, I don't see much action going on in the top lane. Wild Terry just having his Q to just walk away and disengage. Mind games with Wukong clone is going to be coming into a lot in that solo 1v1, but other than that, I don't really see much going on in the top lane. A lot of this is going to be focused in the mid lane. With the Sejuani trying to help out Aurelia, with that early game Syndra being able to poke her out really well, and then the Lee Sin, we saw it last game. You have a control mage, you have Lee Sin, and you pop them. Yeah. I like both of them.
Yeah, both teams definitely have their strengths. However, we are slowly getting into the spectator delay. So we will return when that is done, ready to bring you game 2 between the only TTVtheonlytacocat, and the winning formula. And we have loaded in for game 2 between the only TTVtheonlytacocat and the winning formula for this matchup in Ryzen's Premade Dominate series. And oh wait, hold on.
Interesting.
Captain Goofy using Flash and Teleport level 1.
And now he is hinting.
That's
Huh. The game has been paused.
Yeah, not what I expected, that's for sure. I mean, we have to say something about that.
It looks like
we're going to have to probably get some sort of officials on to discuss action on that, because there's clearly you can't even, I don't even think you can argue in some sort of off meta thing with that. That was just straight up running it down. This is a bit unprecedented for me in my casting experience, in all honesty. I have never seen this happen in an organized environment. But yeah, I guess go back to the team comp. I guess maybe Captain Goofy already burned Flash Teleport disadvantage. This is
I mean, Flash teleports out, and so is
gold to the Aurelia. I would hope we. Can we get a few league officials on call because I'm
looking at all chat right now. It's
don't
looking
have
like
any sort of information on this yet. All right, so we will go to a break, try to figure out how to resolve this situation, and we will be back when we do figure that out. And we do have some unfortunate information coming out after that incident in the first few minutes. The winning formula have forfeited the game and the series as a result. So it is a 2-0 series win going over to TTVtheonlytacocat, and that'll take them to 5-1 and so far this season.
Yeah, it was a great Sunday for League of Legends. I'm glad we got to watch one game, and I really enjoyed casting. So
yeah,
thank you all.
Same here. So that will call it for this stream, unfortunately, but I apologize. I have been sun praising, and alongside me has been Zane Beatty, and we are calling it for today.